Hi Leos, and Willow the Wisp, or sort of fairy people. I'm looking out into the misty field, and there are all these little jeweled, dewy spider webs that look like little sort of Willow the Wisp growing up through the field. It's a beautiful morning here, and I'm not sure how many more days of sun we're going to get, so I'm basking in it. I probably won't leave you doing that because it's just a bit annoying. It kind of ruins the... Oh, but it's so lovely to see. Anyway, you might keep getting little shots of the sun. Let's dive straight in with a very quick Celtic cross for you. I've got two jumpers on, so I'm sort of slightly... I've taken the coat off because it was making a noise. Right, interior. Oh dear, 10 of swords, although I quite like the 10 of swords. So that's you on the inside. You've given up on something. There's a transformation. And on how that's making you act on the outside is the Hermit. Amazing. And well, that would make a lot of sense. And something for the root of the reading. 3 of Cups. And what has happened in the recent past. A Page of Wands. He jumped out like the Page of Wands. Oh, too many cards. Something for a potential outcome. Potential outcome. Another 10. 10 of Wands this time. And something for the near future. Strength, lovely. And your attitude. Your attitude. Oh, 5 of Cups. Feeling a bit disappointed. And the 9 of Swords was sticking out. Sorry. There's an attitude issue going on here. How interesting. Or a perspective. And your environment. Queen of Swords. And your hopes and fears. The 7 of Swords. More of your fears. And an outcome. An outcome. Oh, 5 of Pentacles. Right, we're going to cap this. We're going to work out what's going on because there's a lot of fear here. You've got a lot of the cards of real fear and worry. This is an opportunity to change your mind somewhat because a lot of this is mental energy. So I hope you'll stick around because we're going to cap these and get some good advice from the cards. So interior, we can see that you've sort of given up on something. It's actually quite a wonderful position when we finally say enough is enough. I'm not fighting this anymore. It's over. There will be a new dawn. We can see the dawn rising. We can see this mudra that he's making here, suggesting that there is more life coming. But, you know, you're not prepared to keep fighting a situation. Maybe you've got to the end of a very difficult relationship, work situation. It's strange. I can't quite imagine what it would be because there's no... It could be that you're fighting your own thought processes, really, because the swords are what are really standing out to me in this reading. They're the ones that are kind of ruling the tone of everything. Let's give you a bit of sun. I think you need it today. And how that's making you act on the outside is you're trying to find a new and true path for you with the Hermit. And that's a very good thing to be doing in this year because we're in the year of the Hermit. The numerals add up to 9 and the major 9 is this Hermit card. And he has to go up a mountain alone on a quest in order to come back down with the wisdom of his true path, which he can share with his community. So we can see that you are really attempting to find your true path here. It's funny, I just sometimes put these red glasses on to see what I see, and he looks like Jesus to me today, which has never happened before. And listen to those bells going in the background. So there could be a sense of a spiritual path that you want to be on. Though I don't see other cards to indicate that, but it just might be that you're being helped out by some spirit guides or some angelic beings, or maybe you are religious and Jesus means something to you. It'd be interesting to know. In the basis of the reading is this card of community and celebration. And maybe what's happened is that you have been left out of your community for some reason or other. I'd love to know why. It might be the end of a marriage that means that you're now looking for new people to hang out with, that a group of friends has gone. It could be the end of a work. I remember years ago finishing a job that I'd been in for 6 years where I was very fond of everyone, and it was the right thing to move on, but boy was it difficult. I was so sort of entrained into going into the office and being with those people, and it's very strange to suddenly find yourself alone. Maybe that's coming up for a reason. Maybe you're working at home alone. It makes you suddenly feel a bit isolated and like everything's a bit too much. But in the recent past and the near future, we have two lovely positive cards. So there was a new idea, something that grabbed your attention. Maybe this is what you followed off, and it's led you into slightly more barren grounds than you would expect. You know, this is the card of excitement, enthusiasm, lots of ideas, very interested in lots of different things. So something has piqued your interest in the recent future. But here we see, as a stage card, and I say stage because look at those double lines. See if I can get it to focus. You see those double lines just there? So Pamela Coleman Smith was a set designer, and so a lot of her minor arcana, which she was left to do what she wanted with, have this suggestion of it being a stage. And so as a potential outcome, I would read this as saying there might be a stage where it all feels a bit too much. This is obsessive energy. It's workaholism. Have you started a new project on your own at home, for instance, and suddenly it just feels like a massive burden? And we say about him that he needs to look up and get himself to that village, because he's sort of so burdened by what he's carrying and all these new responsibilities that he might just miss the village. We don't want that. It's the second 10. So maybe the first 10 where you're sort of giving up is to do with something that's becoming too much, too obsessive, too much to carry in work, or in a kind of obsessive, devilly type way, something that you're a bit addicted to, potentially, that you will not leave alone. It is the card of workaholics, though, not being able to see the wood for the trees. But then in the near future, we have the card of strength. This does indicate needing strength, but it also indicates that she has tamed this wild beast. And that's you taming your more frightened sides and the bits of other people around you that are a bit more unconscious. But really, I think here, your fears. So we know that this is going to work out. But I have to say, when I look at the vertical, so you have the strength. She's the free alchemist. But in your attitude, wow, you're so worried and you're so disappointed, and you're focusing on what is left. Sorry, what you have left, what is left behind. Those 3 cups that are spilled, and you're not turning around and looking at the 2 that are standing. I just feel there's got to be an attitude change here, and we're going to pull some cards on those, because of course you will have something that you legitimately have a right to worry about. I'm not dissing whatever you've been through, but at this stage, this attitude of focusing on what's past and what you're worried about is obviously going to keep you quite stuck, and we need to see you re-emerge from that 10 of Swords into your new life. With the your environment, you have this Queen of Swords, so potentially this could either be someone you live with who's got a very sort of sharp tongue and says it like it is, because the Queen of Swords, you know, sometimes we say the bitch of the pack, but really what we're saying is she's the straight talker of the pack. She's the divorcee, she's the, you know, maybe this is about a divorce, maybe, and a divorce doesn't always end up being very easy to process very quickly. That would make sense, as she is the divorcee, and I don't usually say that maybe this is to do with the end of a marriage, and then worrying about what your community is coming forward, and if so, then you will be living with that new identity, feeling quite hurt, raising your sword of truth, wanting to assert your own truth in the face of what would be a crumbled marriage. And I'm sorry if that's the case. It could also be that you live with someone who's very sharp talking, or that you have this mental capacity, because she's very helpful actually when it comes to unbinding thoughts that are worrying. She thinks clearly, she strategizes, she's the intellect, she's the cleverest in the pack. So maybe you've got someone around you that you can rely on, a really good friend that you could help you with this attitude. And not with this attitude as if, oh, it's all you've got it wrong, but I mean help you start to focus on what's positive and move towards what's positive. In your hopes and fears, the 7 of Swords. So this is a yellow card. So traditionally, again, a stage card. Traditionally, we would say, dot your I's, cross your T's, watch out you're not giving your power away. This is the card of somebody who might be giving up their power in a workspace, in a marriage, but also as a hope. So that would be something you really don't want. You don't want to lose any more ground. But as a hope, you might say it could be about a divorce negotiation. It could be saying, I want to get what I want. I want to be this guy that's crept in and got a bit more of the bounty, leaving 2 swords behind, but getting what you need. And the yellow is standing out to me because it's beside this strength card in the near future. And look at the similarity in the backgrounds. This bright yellow positivity. I mean, it really strikes me that it could be about divorce negotiations and needing to get what you need to feel safe. Could also be about leaving a job, leaving a group of friends, feeling disempowered because of that, or maybe not honoured at that process. And in the outcome, feeling a bit out in the cold, not quite having found your space yet. You can see what's going on here. These 2 need to get into the church. They need to look up at this beautiful stained glass window, but they're outside feeling very injured. One is blind, potentially. One is lame, and they need to get into that church. They do help each other. And there is also a suggestion I've read before, that in a book recently, that the church has let them down. That's interesting. Maybe you've left a church. That would be very indicated here, that there was a community that you loved but that you no longer believed in. It's a bit like leaving a marriage, isn't it? So let's have a look. Could we have some help from the Enchanted Forest Oracle? Something to focus on either in the reading that we need to focus on, or some advice, please. Oh, lovely. So it wants us to focus on the 3 of Cups, the basis of this reading, because that is the same in this book. And that's very interesting. So you've got it as the basis of the reading. It wants to say there is celebration and community, and this is what's going to get you through this phase, is connecting to your true community. This is everything for you. Maybe you've had a falling out with a friend or a group of friends. It happens. It's rarely, if they're true friends, it won't last forever. But maybe this is really what you're so worried about, and what we need to concentrate on. So, friendship, pastime with good company, playfulness, laughter, the delight of company. Wood violets are a symbol of gentle kindness. Violets say, would you like to be my friend? Now, I've read this card recently and I didn't read that bit. So, in a way, because they're garlanded with little wood violets, in a way, maybe that's an indication that you could approach a new group of people. There's always a new community for you to find. Even in the Enchanted Forest, this is a remarkable sight. What appears to be at first a rumble of aggressive bears is revealed to be quite the opposite. Bedecked with garlands of blackberry brambles, 3 bewitching bears are dancing together in celebration. What are they celebrating? It's just a beautiful day, and they are bears. What could be better than that? They dance barefooted on a carpet of wood violets that release their sweetness into the air, adding to the delight of the day. You don't have to be a bear to know that making time for friendship is as important as any other aspect of life. You've been neglecting your connection to friends. Now is the time to make them a priority. Now that's interesting. Gather with you those that you know well and with whom you can be yourself. You don't need a special occasion. The time you spend in good company is celebration in itself. Look, we've seen the card of the workaholic. This could be another reading of this. Maybe you really just haven't been neglecting your friendships, and it's part of yourself that's very sustaining and nurturing, and you need to reconnect to in order to feel at balance and to sort of let go of some of this negative thinking, because you might have lots of passion in other areas of your life, but friendship is essential. So I think that's an interesting message to come out here. It also wants you to concentrate on, it could be finding new friends. Friendship is going to be your key. Community, friendship, enjoying the day just for how beautiful it is, like today. I'm determined to spend as much time outside as possible. Right, this is another card from Rachel Pollock's Shining Tribe deck. Could we have... Oh, that's quite a lot. There's 4 cards. We can't do that. 10 of Rivers, the Hanged Woman, change your perspective, 2 of Stones, Ace of Rivers, which is the Ace of Hearts, and the 3 of Stones. I'm not going to take all of those because I need to refer to the book with these. So could we have something that either unlocks this reading or gives us some advice? The Awakening. There's got to be some sort of epiphany. That's lovely. This is the Judgment card. So that's great. Maybe it is as simple as you need this epiphany that friendship is so important to you that you hadn't really been realizing. Transformation, a moment, possibly an event. Again, an event. So like these dancing bears, that brings to life a change that was that has built up over a long time. Joining with others again. Gosh, and there's those 3 figures again. Responsibility. Gosh, that's so community is so important. Joining with others is so important. Traditional name for this card is Judgment. The standard image shows a man and a woman and a child rising from coffins, often coffins that are in the sea. While the angel Gabriel blows his horn, however, the tarot carries a significant... However, the tarot card carries a significant difference. In Renaissance paintings of the Last Judgment, the dead are indeed judged. Typically, a picture will show one group descended to hell, the other walking up to paradise. But in the tarot, the Judgment, no one is actually judged. Everyone rises up joyously. I mean, 3 cards. Who could make this up? This quite tough reading, and then 3 cards that are being highlighted to you to rise up in celebration. Have you got a birthday coming up? Have you got something that you can celebrate? Have you ended something where you need to celebrate that you've done it? It's amazing, right? Everyone rising up joyfully. Many times in classes I've seen people catch themselves at the title of Judgment. They believe that they must be judged. Only when I point out the picture actually shows that in fact what they show is do they actually really look at it. One reason I changed the title was to release people from this worry of judge and judging. Is that what's going on? Are you judging yourself? Does that make it difficult for you to connect with your community? People are much less interested in us than we would realise. You know, they're all thinking about their own stuff. Don't be judging yourself. Just be yourself. Another reason is that the awakening Another reason is that awakening is what the card actually shows. It's the next to last card. We awaken to our true selves in the next card. In this next to last card. The full child could do anything because he existed in a pre-conscious state. Without thought, doubt cannot exist. Here we regain that freedom and belief of the fool, but now with conscious awareness, the result of our journey through other cards. That's it. This is leaving all of that anxiety. You're regaining some fool-like state. No doubt. Significantly, this card comes from the Lovers and the Death. We see the progression from a small ego death in sex to a surrender of old ways in the card of death to the new life implied in an image of emergence for the dark. Well, we see that you've got the minor for the death in your inner being. So awakening shows 3 shining glyphs a man, a woman, a child, and a bird-like spirit in an urban setting. The child in the middle is purple, a combination of masculine red and feminine blue. In the Magician's card, we saw a dying city with the promise that the shaman-like magician would restore it. Here we see a city alive. There are 22 windows in these cards, in these buildings in the city, which are on either side, which represents one for each of the major arcana, and they glow with golden light. What restores the city, that is modern civilization, is the life energy of a spirituality based on nature and personal experience of the sacred. If you are leaving a church, that would be something I would consider, getting out into nature. It teaches us so much, but I feel like the people who would turn up to this would know that anyway, but maybe it's a reminder to you. Because shamanism and the ancient traditions have inspired this new consciousness, we think of it as a return to old ways, a return of shamanism, a return of gods and goddesses. We might think of it more as a turn of a spiral. 20 is 2 times 10, the spiral of fortunes, and we've got 2 10s here. We've got the 10 of swords, the 10 of wands, and now we've got the 20. So these 2s turning of your spirals are now leading you back to something. While we learn from the past and from the living traditions of other people, only our own creation based in the psychological outlook of our culture can truly bring us back to life. In psychological terms, awakening means to move from a fragmented state to a state of wholeness, from isolation to unity with others. The novelist Philip K. Dick called this experience rising from the tomb world of despair and loneliness. In The Magician, we saw 2 separated shining glyphs reach towards each other. In the sun, they joined hands. Here we see a feminine and masculine version of this figure, in between them a child. When opposites join together, they create something new and wonderful. So remember, novelist Philip K. Dick talking about rising from the tomb world. The 3 celebrate the spirit who fills their world with joy. Together they rise from the underworld, just as Persephone rose with her beacon of hope in the star, and that's the star that we see in the lantern of the hermit that is your attitude. Here, hope fulfills us. This is a card of realization of the actual experiences of seeing the world in a new way, of an action or a shift of perception that changes every detail in a person's life. The urban setting and the presence of a family imply community, again, and responsibility to others. When we awaken, we understand our connections to the earth, to the people around us, to our society, to the web of life, breathing and sleeping and waking all across the world. I wonder whether you've been through a period of depression. We forget our connection to community when we are in that state, and that could also be another reading of this. But I really love to see 3 cards in a row talking about you reconnecting to your sense of responsibility, community, to joy, to celebration, and understanding that you can go round these cycles, the 10s where things die. Yeah, the towers just popped out. There's been something previously in your life that was built on the wrong foundation, and you can go through those cycles and come back again. This isn't it. Everything is a cycle. We think we move in a linear fashion, but actually there's a lot more cyclical. One more card of advice, please. Got 2. Go back to something you love. That will repair the balance. Yeah, we have the 6 of Cups and the Justice card, who's number 11, coming after these 10s. Go back to something you've loved in childhood. Go back in that cyclical way we were just talking about. It could be go back to childhood friends. They, if you are lucky enough to have anybody in your life for that long. But certainly go back to things that you've loved in the past. That will start to restore the balance and the justice. There will be a sort of righteousness by reconnecting to those things. But remember, celebration, community. That's what's coming for you. I'm very happy that you're having this. I can see it's a big time, but I can see where it's heading, which is back into community, back into celebration, and that's an amazing place to be. Thank you for stopping by.